What's up guys, it's Alex the Magician here, and this video is a continuation of the series on guard creatures. And in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the break creatures, and I'm going to just talk about which ones are easier and which ones are harder and why. And in the next video, I will actually do a demonstration of how to fight them and how to deal with the more difficult break creatures. Because the thing is, you're not going to be able to scout your break on turn 1 every time, or even 50% of the time. Usually you'll scout them on like day 2 and day 3, which means that if you're stuck with a really bad break, a lot of times you're not going to be able to restart it. And even if you have a bad break and you scout it on day 1, sometimes your biome will be good enough as to where you're not going to want to restart. So you will need to know how to actually face and how to what kind of a strategy you need to have against some of the more difficult break creatures. Well, we will talk about that a bit later. Right now, I'm just going to go through which ones are easier and which ones are harder. So let's start with the easier ones. Basically, anything that you can slow and anything that is already not too fast, and anything that is not ranged and doesn't have nasty abilities and doesn't have magic resistance is considered a pretty good break. So these breaks here, for example, Scorpicores and Dread Knights, they are pretty good breaks to have. It would be better if they were unupgraded versions, because the upgraded Scorpicores are pretty fast and they have that paralysis ability, so you do have to be careful there. And the Dread Knights are also pretty fast and they have that double damage, so the Black Knights would have been a better break. But these are not ranged creatures, and if you get a faster unit like an Angel, you can slow them, you can mass slow them, and that becomes much more manageable. So essentially, you're looking for anything like, let's say, Nyx Warriors, Nagas, Naga Queens, Unicorns, the upgraded ones. Let's say Hydras, Behemoths are okay. Although the upgraded Behemoths are pretty nasty, you want to stay away from that because they ignore 80% of your defense. So you don't want to get hit by them. That's the thing. Like with the Scorpicores too, you don't want to get hit by them. And the Dread Knights, you don't want to get hit by them. So you want to slow them, you want to mass slow them and try to kill them, try to one-shot the stacks as much as possible and not get hit by them, because if you get hit by the double damage, that can be pretty nasty, and if you get hit by the paralysis, that can also be pretty nasty. Now, the more difficult guard creatures are the ones that are magic resistant, and also the ones that have some nasty abilities. So, for example, dragons. Red dragons, green dragons, black dragons, and gold dragons, obviously, those are pretty bad. First of all, you cannot slow them, and they're really fast, and they're really beefy and do a lot of damage. And actually, a lot of times fighting red dragons or green dragons can be worse than fighting black dragons or gold dragons, the upgraded versions, because here you can have somewhere around 30 dragons, but when you're fighting black dragons, you're going to have about 15 of them, and they do the same amount of damage. They do 40 to 50 damage, and the black dragons are just more beefy and they're faster. So actually facing a break like red dragons or green dragons is pretty bad in a lot of cases. You cannot slow them. They're also resistant to, the red ones are resistant to level 1 through 4 magic. And then green ones 1 to 3, I believe. Now, Archdevils are also a really bad break because they're really fast. There is no way for you to actually slow them, and they have no retaliation. So that is a really nasty ability to have. Most of the time, that is not a break you want to be facing. Magic Elementals, really bad break as well, because they have magic resistance and they're immune to magic. They attack in all directions and they have no retaliation. So that is a really nasty combination. So you want to try to stay away from that. Angels are also a pretty bad break. Archangels as well, because they're going to be really fast and they're really strong. Anything ranged, so anything like Power Liches, Cyclopes, Enchanters, Titans, those are bad breaks as well. Giants are not so bad, but if there's an upgraded stack, and if you are facing Titans instead of Giants, those are pretty bad breaks as well. Efreet, the unupgraded ones are manageable, the upgraded ones are nasty. If you're facing Efreet Sultans, that's also one of the worst ones, because they're really fast. You cannot outspeed them even with Angels, and they have the Fire Shield, so you're going to be taking damage even if you kill them, unless you're fighting them with like Cyclopes or something. And if you're facing like Phoenixes or Firebirds, those are not too bad. Phoenixes or Firebirds are not that strong. Their stats are kind of weak. So if you have a decent power stack and if you have some decent stats, they're not the best. And if you're facing them with somebody like Luna, they're pretty bad because you're depending on the firewall and they're going to be too fast and also fire resistant. But for most other heroes where you have a decent power stack and you can fight them with, I don't know, either a stack of like Wyvern or Angels or something like that, they're not going to be so bad. You may lose a couple of units, but usually it's a lot more manageable than something like Red Dragons, for example. Okay, so I believe I've covered just about all of the variations that I wanted to cover. So in the next video, I'll get into more details of how to actually fight the breaks, and I'll do some demonstrations of how to do the easier ones and how to do the harder ones as well. So thank you guys for watching, and again, if you guys want to check out more Heroes 3 content, check out my live Twitch stream. I'll have the link in the video description below. I stream every day from Thursday to Monday, starting around noon Eastern European time. So feel free to follow me so you get notified when I go live. All right, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Peace.